Hello, everyone, and welcome to our poster, Oregon Digital, Reimagine for Reuse, a redesigning of a digital library to improve the capacity for the reuse of digital collections. I'm Kate Thornhill, the Digital Scholarship Librarian at the University of Oregon Libraries, and I'm here today with my colleague, Chris Peterson, an archivist at Oregon State University Libraries and Press. Later in this presentation, Chris will talk about the context of digital collection reuse. But before that, I'd like to provide us with some context about what is Oregon Digital. Oregon Digital is a cultural heritage digital library that emphasizes the history of Oregon and the histories of the University of Oregon and Oregon State University. Originally released in 2014, Oregon Digital is currently being upgraded to the latest version of the Samvera community's Hyrax release, a process that is also including a major refresh of look and functionality. What's been important to our process has been the emphasis of our users, the Oregon Digital users. Our users connect with digital collections for a variety of purposes and most often discover the materials through search rather than navigation through Oregon Digital. There are people who are at all levels of academia, as well as publishers, avocationalists, and nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and also OSU and UO alumni. As part of this project, we also have been emphasizing what are their specific wants and desires from Oregon Digital. Across all of these users, there's a need to repurpose special collections and archival content for research, scholarship, illustration, identifications, and historical context for land use, instruction, outreach, and sharing.
Okay, as Kate mentioned, the focus of this presentation is on reuse of content within Oregon Digital. And in the matrix that we have embedded in our poster, you can see lots of different things that we've done to improve the reuse capacity for our users, but we want to focus on three specific ones for this mini presentation. And the first is downloads. We have two tabs open here that will do a compare and contrast from Oregon Digital 1 to Oregon Digital 2. Kate, if you can take us to the first tab. So we see here, this is a yearbook from OSU and the download button is on the right. If you were to click on that, you would have access to what we're calling standard resolution, or it's actually a low resolution access copy of the content. The only way to get high resolution is to log in, but the only way to log in is to ask us to have an account made for you. That's the situation in current Oregon Digital 1. And Oregon Digital 2, on the other hand, you'll have the ability to download high resolution, standard resolution, and metadata for anything that you find, just about anything that you find in Oregon Digital. And login is mediated by your institutional affiliation. There's no need for you to ask for an account. If you are not affiliated with one of the institutions, you can create an account on your own. You don't have to ask a human being for any of that. So it's a big step forward. The second thing we want to talk about is copyright. So this is a major question that we get asked all the time is, can I use it? And in current Oregon Digital, the only indication of copyright is a right statement that shows up in the metadata that's linked to a facet that actually, if you were to click on that, it would take you to everything else in Oregon Digital that has that same facet. And for this one, there's almost 40,000 items. It's not very helpful. In Oregon Digital 2, on the other hand, we have copyright information in multiple locations. You're showing up on the upper right-hand side right there. It's also down in the metadata. And clicking on that takes you to an external link for rightstatements.org or for Creative Commons that actually explains what the situation is with the copyright. So it's a lot more helpful for the user in terms of answering that question, can I use it? But in many cases, you still are going to need mediation from a human being, from an archivist, to help you navigate this process. And this is the third thing we want to talk about, is the improved workflow for contacting us. So current Oregon Digital, we have a very small and not easy to locate contact link down in the footer. The advantage is it's in the footer. The disadvantage is it's hard to find. You're not totally sure what you're getting when you click on it. In Oregon Digital 2, on the other hand, we have created a tab next to the metadata, or above the metadata here, where you click on that, you get a form that makes it much more clear that this is something that I can use to get help with this particular item. So all different pieces of enhancement that we hope will improve the user experience and the ability to reuse content in Oregon Digital. So that is our presentation. If you'd like to know more, please reach out. Our contact information is in the footer of our poster. And thank you very much.